Stock Charts Trading. Today we're going to be taking a look at soybean futures, and so that's /ZS. And as you see, we have a bottoming, right? So support, coming around that bottom, and that's on a diagonal downward angle. And so we know that we're kind of in a downtrend. But on that support line, we can see that we're making a head and shoulders pattern right there. So what would we do? We would take and make a range box, and then once we broke the neckline right here, we would duplicate that range box up into this $1,200 area, which also shows us resistance and support back here, which would prove to be a pretty good target area. But I want to take a look at the world of possibilities. Now, it is good, don't get me wrong, to take this run right here. But look at how big this move is, right? Are you prepared? Is your trading system prepared to take huge moves like this? Like, how are you trading and planning so that you are involved in the biggest of biggest moves? So first thing you have to do is understand what the move was, why it was, and how much it moved, which involved the 5 musts of trading, right? So you have trend, you have momentum, you have support and resistance, you have days of move, and then you also have the move. How much should it move? And so right now we're looking at the support line. So if we start measuring all of these places from the support upward and then see where there was resistance that came in and price fell off, we're not as interested in the fall off. We're interested in the uptrend that is getting ready to happen. And so we could just take our trend tool and measure from the bottom to the top, and this gives us the amount of money that it moved and days. So then all we have to do is activate that line that we drew of this and pull it over to our support place, and it will give us that target, which voila, was the exact target that we just looked at. So we now know that this likes this movement of price. Let's look at this next one. Voila, we have the exact movement again. And so just look back. This was nowhere near here, right? But we have the exact same size and almost dates, right? So this one here is about 150 days, and this one is a little bit longer. And so that's what I love about just taking these trend lines, go from the bottom up to the top, and it will give you how many days you can anticipate this trade to be. So then you buy the right option, right? Because this obviously is going to be more days and bigger price movement than right here. So now we have 2 target areas that we can look at from these lows going up, making new highs, which we know will be an uptrend. So we can take up trades constantly on this until we meet our targets. So now that we're pulling over our higher target frames, which is amazing that all of them are kind of in this same range as far as how many days. The price move is huge difference. But if we look at how many days it took for them to complete that bullish run, we're looking at around 300 days. And so each one of these, obviously we can see here, this was about 120 days. This was about 150 days. Here we're at about 270. And then this one was 300. So we know that this thing could be aggressively bullish within the next 300 days. So currently we're in a downtrend. But this is a pendant, right? You can see this wedge pattern happening. It's making lower lows, lower highs. It's pinching together. And at some time, we're going to have this breakout. As soon as we have this breakout, it confirms a long up trend. Now let's look for a little bit more confluence. So we have our highs right here of our past runs. We bring that across. We can see that that's a support and resistance. Remember, it's exactly the area 1200 where our range box also finishes. Then if we go to our next run, where do we go? We go right here to these support levels. We have support and resistance. So that's interesting also. Then we have our biggest bull run. And where does that go? It goes right up here into these resistance areas before. And that's what I'm trying to say. There's so much confluence with the way that the market works and how these come back to these support and resistance levels. And we can use these as targets now. Couple ways to trade this. You can get in right here at around 880 and take it up into this 1200 range like we talked about. Right now we have a bounce right here. We have a little bit of pullback. Maybe this is a leg 2, and then we'll have that leg 3 breakout and a little bit of a pullback into the leg 4, which would then give us a leg 5, which would fit perfect into this Elliott wave scenario of 1200. Or you can buy right here at $880 and maybe just ride it up and wait until you get into one of these targets of 1300 or 1500. Here's the way I like to trade. With the forward thinking that this is going uptrend, use the LRC, and you can see the LRC is even indicating an uptrend. Use that to have bounces off of the bottom here, buy in, hold it to the top of the RLC, and what happens? We say sell at the top. Buy at the bottom, sell at the top. And so if you know that you're in an uptrend, wait for these pullbacks, hit the bottom of the LRC, and then take them up, and you'll be able to have huge gains. Getting in and out of the market very successfully. I'm telling you, you'll double or triple whatever you're trading right now because the trend is your friend until the end. And so what you need to have is an understanding of where trend could go and then where are the resistance levels. And we've done that. We've seen how many days. We've seen how far it will go. We got target prices. So now we go to a lower time frame and we look for the pullbacks and we look for places to get in at resistance, and we take these trades to the upside. If we get all the way up here to 1500, I'm not going to keep trying to get bullish trades. Yes, I do have higher high right in here up to 1800, but to me, I could get the bulk of the money from this $800, $900 level up to this $1,500 level, a 700-point gain, which is about 100% profit. The same is true with ES, SPY futures. Guess what? From these lows up to these highs, why would I try to get a little trade right in here when I'm coming into resistance? Save your money and be patient in these areas, waiting for the next trend move to happen.